Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Beth and this is my Flosstube number 14. So yeah, I make videos about cross stitch. Welcome if you're new here. I have a ton of projects to show you today. If you follow me on Instagram, you can find me at busybeesillyme on Instagram. If you follow me there, you will already know that I am participating in Arbitrary August. And so what I'm doing is I made a wheel of all of my whips. And I'm spinning every day for a new project. And I am also participating in WhipGo this year. So I have some goals on my WhipGo board that have been called, but I haven't completed the goals. So a whip with a unfinished goal for WhipGo is getting 2 days instead of 1 for Arbitrary August. And with that, it pretty much works out to be my whips fit in a month. So that's been really great. And I'm going to show you everything I've been working on for a little over the first half of August. And then I'll come back and do a part 2 for the last half. But I didn't want this video to be too painfully long. But before we jump into that, I want to show you something that I worked on outside of Arbitrary August. And that is this guy. So this is a start and a finish. I worked on this last Friday, and I worked on something for Arbitrary August that day, and I had a goal for it that I was trying to meet, and so I powered through and I met my goal, and then I let myself have a fun new start. So I want to show you the project that this came from. So this came from Magic Garden Sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler. Here's what that looks like. Obviously, that's not what I stitched. So this piece is I stitched it as a memento from the Show Me retreat from earlier this year. And we did a stash dive where we had to find a Shakespeare's Peddler chart with a snail in it. And if you know what Shakespeare's Peddler's charts usually look like, there's tons of like big samplers with lots of teeny tiny little motifs in them. So we were squinting, desperately looking for the snail. Turns out there was a huge snail right here on this pattern. So I was the one to find it, which was really fun. And it's been a perpetual joke ever since about snails, and it was a joke all through the Frogwarts retreat as well, looking for snails and patterns. So in fact, we had another stash dive looking for a snail in, I think it was long dog patterns, looking for a snail in there. This chart isn't really my style. I don't really do gardening. That's my boyfriend's thing. But I thought the snail was really special. So I got the pattern and I decided to just stitch the snail. And then what I did, and thank you to Athena from Stitching with Friends for this idea. I was on video chat with her and some other folks when I started this. And this chart has an alphabet. So what I did was I pulled the letters out of the alphabet and put them together into Snailed It. I did stitch those letters over one so that it would fit. And I stitched the letters in Color and Cotton Dark Indigo because we got that floss in our retreat in a box for the Show Me retreat. So I thought that would be a little bit of a special touch to remember the Show Me retreat. And then I did, I think in like 415 or some light gray DMC, I just sort of like freehanded a little snail trail there to fit in the extra space. And that's just like half stitches. And I'm obsessed with this. I love this so much. I did this on a 28 count Joblin in the color Lamb's Wool. I think this is just like a Witchelt. I don't really stitch on Joblin much, but I really liked stitching on it. So I've got more. Whoops. I've got more, so I could stitch something else on this other half. So basically the two things that I collect outside of cross stitching are pins and Christmas ornaments. My Christmas tree is just like a walkthrough of memories from my life, lots of things that I've gotten from traveling, full of things that are special and important to me. So I have no stitched ornaments. So this is definitely going to become an ornament and go on my Christmas tree. And I cannot wait. Can't wait. Okay. And these are a little bit out of order, but I wanted to show you my other finish since you saw that one. And I'm going to show you bags today since I'm going through all my whips. I'll show you bags. So this is in a Love You More sleeve. This beautiful lemon print. I love it. And now it's freed up to go with another project. So in that project bag is the freebie from So Much to Love by Karen Torres by So Much to Love. She makes the project bags that I have a million of. She released a freebie design for Needlework Galleria in 2019. And I think you got it like from a bag purchase with her at Galleria. So I'm gonna hold it way back here. That's what it looked like. It had a lot of stuff in it that I decided I didn't want to stitch, like all of this down here I decided not to stitch. So I will show you what that looks like. It's such a little pattern that I only had some of the background in, but when I started on this during Arbitrary August, but it was very easy to get to a finish. And I'm out of focus. Doesn't matter. Gonna go in close. So that's what that looks like. I love this too. This is also going to become an ornament for my Christmas tree. Because if it's small and it's a special memory, it's going on my tree, for sure. I did this on 32 count beautiful beige linen. This is another witch alt. I did not like this fabric. It was fine, but I didn't love it. I also have some more of this. I probably will still save it for another small, but it wasn't amazing. So yeah, I decided not to do the stuff underneath, just because I thought just like this would make a really nice ornament and the stuff underneath would make it too big. So yeah. That is to remember Galleria 2019, which is how I met Laura Landis and how I got involved in participating with the Show Me Retreat and the Frogwarts Retreat and meeting all of the lovely friends that I've met through that. And now we've got a weekly video chat that we do from some of the folks from the Show Me Retreat. So yeah, I'm very, very thankful that I was able to go to Galleria. I'm really sad that Galleria is canceled this year. For anyone who may not know, I live like less than 30 minutes away from where Galleria is held. Galleria is basically like a market, but open to the public. So it's not exclusive to designers and retailers. But it's the same sort of style where they do it like in a hotel and you walk to the different rooms and buy from people. And then they have stitching rooms as well and classes and all sorts of fun things. And so I went for the first time last year because I'm so close to where they hold it. But so this year it's just not possible to hold it in a safe way. I'm actually really relieved that they canceled it because they were talking about still holding it. And they made a post on Facebook that was like, hey, if we still have it, who will come? And a bunch of people said they would. And I'm just like, it's not safe. People are not making a responsible choice by saying that they would go. And I knew that I wouldn't feel comfortable going. And so to have to sit out, but know that I was so close was just going to be really, really challenging for me. And so I'm actually really relieved that they just decided to completely cancel it. But sad. So now we're going to go into whips that I still have going. So I'm going to go in order of the whips that I worked on for Arbitrary August. So for the first day of Arbitrary August, I have this in a bag from the lovely Denise Soden of In Liquid Color. She didn't have these on her Etsy shop for a while, but I think she's getting them back. So if you like this or any of the other bags that I show from Denise, this is her artwork. She's super talented and I love her, and she's just also a great human. So go support her, go buy bags from her. I use these as individual project bags, and then I also use them inside of bigger project bags when I've got like a lot of floss or something like that. Okay, so first project of Arbitrary August was A Raven's Reply. This is by Luminous Fiber Arts. I'm going to put a picture here of what it will look like when it's finished. I'm doing this on a piece of 40 count weathered shingle. I don't know the maker of that. But this is my first ever foray into 40 count, and I'm obsessed. So this is where that is now. I finished out the bird this time. I started in on, this is going to be a pumpkin here. So I started in on the stem of the pumpkin and some of the pumpkin vines, and then I started in on these letters here. So I'm definitely saving some of the colorful stuff to the end, because you're going to have a bunch of orange in the pumpkin and all around the border, and that'll be awesome. Some of these I'm really impressed with myself with how much I'm able to accomplish in one day. Okay, next we have Emerald City. This is a mystery Sal put on by Owl Forest Embroidery. The Sal is complete, but I have not finished. Classic. I'll put a picture here of what it'll look like finished. I'm doing this on like a green 32 count Lugana. It's like a generic. It's a Zweigart. I got it from 123 Stitch. And this is where it is. This one's getting hard to show you because the fabric is large. So what I wanted to do on this was to finish out the earlier parts. So I had some of the Yellow Brick Road left to finish, and some of the other little like stars and bubbles and things. So I finished out the Yellow Brick Road, which was kind of a pain in the butt, but I enjoyed. I did that in, let me grab it. So I started out doing that in, dropping everything, in a variegated DMC. It's DMC 90. Can you see that? There you go. DMC 90. And so I looked it up to see, like, because this is 3 or 4 DMC colors all variegated into one thread. And so I had heard that there were places where you could like look up a table of what DMC were included in it. And they were like sort of right and sort of wrong. So I decided that like pulling from the variegated DMC was a pain in the butt, and I didn't want to do that. So I just pulled out the individual colors out of it and edited what the table told me to be what I thought was actual truth. And then I just used my best judgment to decide where the color should go. And honestly, that was way easier than dealing with the variegated DMC. I also put the back stitching into some of the faces at the bottom. And then I worked a little bit up on the Wicked Witch of the West. So yeah, that is looking lovely. And I have 2 whip goggles left for that, but neither of them have been called yet. So I only worked on this project for 1 day for Arbitrary August. And again, this is in a Denise Soden Oven Liquid Color bag. I love this bag. He is gorgeous. Look at that face. Ugh, I love it. Okay, next for Arbitrary August. This was day 3. I pulled my barn owl. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may know what's coming here. But I have my first UFO, folks. My first permanent UFO. That I didn't, restart again. I'll show a picture of what this would look like finished if I ever finished it, which I'm not going to. And here's what it looks like. I'm going to be honest, folks. I don't like this. It's turning out okay. It's not great. But the pattern itself is really horrible to read. And I just could not bear to work on this. I worked on this for about 15 or 20 minutes when I pulled it out on day 3 of Arbitrary August. And I made one little mistake. And I just sort of went one tiny little mistake was so overwhelming to me. I could not even bear to pull it out and fix it. And I'm like, if I feel this negatively about this project, I'm never going to finish it. You can see I'm not even a quarter of the way done with it. The other thing I realized is that, a huge chunk over here is just all white stitches on white fabric. No, thank you. I bought this pattern when I was quite the baby stitcher. And I got it off of Etsy, and there were, a lot of red flags for why I shouldn't have bought this. I tend not to buy full coverage patterns on Etsy unless I've seen somebody else stitch it and see that it's beautiful. Because it's just so easy to put a picture through some software and call that a full coverage pattern. And patterns of that nature, they just aren't the best quality. They tend to be pretty pixelated. They tend not to be in an easy to read pattern format. They just, they have problems. And so I think I would have seen some of those red flags for this pattern if I had been a little bit more experienced when I was looking at it. But that's okay. You live and you learn and you grow, and that's what matters, right? And, I had 40 hours in on this project, but that's better than 100 and deciding I hate it. And if I had powered through on this project and been miserable the whole time and finally got to an end product that was only I wouldn't have wanted to hang that. And that just feels like a big waste of time. So, it's getting UFO'd. No big deal. Something else I learned while UFOing this project, because I wanted to put an Etsy review for this project, not because I wanted to bash the seller, but because I wanted other people to be aware of the quality of the chart before they purchased it, because, some people don't care. Some people, they like the way that it looks and they don't care what the chart looks like, and they're totally willing to power through. And so I went to write a review and discovered that you can't write a review for something you purchased more than 90 days ago. Which is a big bummer for Etsy sellers for cross-stitch charts. Because unless, they're selling... If an Etsy seller is selling their own designs and they're not, well known from the cross-stitch community, it's a big bummer that we can't review their work after we actually have a completed project to show, because the really good ones, I'm not going to find them because people aren't going to be able to say, this took me 100 hours, but here's the completed project and look how beautiful it is in a comment. And on the flip side, you're not going to be able to say, this pattern, not so great. I wouldn't recommend it. And that's equally important. You all may remember, if you've been watching me for a little while, that I started a blue crab that I got off of Etsy, and it was so much worse than this pattern. It was unstitchable. And that was, the actual stitched piece didn't even remotely look like the picture. Never mind having a chart that was not easy to read and navigate. And thankfully, that one I discovered soon enough that I was able to deal with it the way I wanted to. I spoke to the seller for that scenario as well. But yeah, bummer for Etsy sellers. That really sucks. But it explains why, Etsy sellers' reviews are full of oh, I got the pattern so quickly, I can't wait to stitch it. That doesn't mean anything to me. Anyway, I was storing this bag in this cute daisy bag that I got. I mean, it's not the best quality bag, but it's fine. That I got from the grocery store. It's got a vinyl front. It came in a set of 3. And I made the mistake of putting tape on it, and now it's sticky. I need to use some Goo Gone on that. And then if any of you guys get Ipsy bags, sometimes the bags in them are really fantastic for flossaway bags. I use sandwich bags, and they fit perfectly in this little snap bag. So this project UFO'd permanently, never coming back. So on the day that I drew that, I only worked on it for 20 minutes and then moped about it for another 20 minutes. And so then I decided to spin for another project. I only worked on it for maybe half an hour that night. And so then I just decided I'd work on it the next day as well. So that one is Old Faithful. This is from the Posy collection. But it is designed by Barbara Bangser from the Posy collection. So that's what that looks like. I got this at Yellowstone at a gift shop there. So I'm stitching this to remember my trip. I keep this in a bison bag that I got also at Yellowstone, and I love this bag. It has a little bit of a bottom, and it's super cute, and I love it. So I'm not using, this was a kit. I'm not using the kit fabric because it was too small to fit in my Q-snap. So I'm just using some natural Michaels Aida. And that's what it looks like. I think I'm using 16 count Aida. It could be 18 count. I think it's 16. And I'm using all of the kit floss, but it's just DMC. I'm sorry, guys. I don't iron for you, but I don't iron for me either. So I worked on basically extending this white down of the geyser. There are 2 colors of white in there, but I worked on extending one of them down. I also worked on the navy in the background there. I think that's just supposed to be like hills in the background. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go with this piece next. I don't know if you can tell. The grass has like some straw colored stuff inside of it. Looking at actual pictures of Old Faithful, like I can see what the designer was trying to do, but I don't think that it comes across. So, I think I might just do plain grass, or yeah, I'm not sure. Also, the like mound of dirt that the geyser is coming out of doesn't really look like what it looks like in person either. And so I'm wondering, maybe I might make it like covered in snow or something else. I don't know. I'm considering modifications for this. Also, I have begun experimenting with thread drops. So, as I showed a second ago, I usually store my floss for projects in little snack baggies with an index card behind them. And I've been learning more about thread drops and how to use them and how to get floss off of them without taking the floss off of the card. And so I am experimenting with that to see how I like it. I basically just got like some gift tags off of Amazon, and I'm hole punching them with, I've got like a set of 3 of these hole punchers of different sizes, so I'm trying that out to see what I think. I think so far I really like it. Okay, next, I worked on, Next I worked on butterflies, which I keep in another Denise in liquid color bag of the bee. I love this one. It's the same on both sides. So this project is butterflies. I'll put a picture on the screen of what this will look like completed. This is designed by a Russian designer, I think, that I can't remember her name. I'll put that somewhere. Maybe on the screen as well. Anyway, I'm stitching this on. I thought I had the tag from the fabric in here, but I guess not. This is 32 count linen. Oh, I found it. This is from Color and Cotton, a 32 count linen in Sea Breeze. Beautiful blue color. So here is where I am now. So this got 2 days because I have 2 open whip go goals on this. So this orange one at the top, that's the top of the pattern. So I finished this one, I backstitched it. And then I started in on this one. And if I finish that, that will be one of the 2 open whip go goals down. Then I've got 2 more butterflies for my second goal. And this is a piece that I'm stitching for my grandma. She loves butterflies and has volunteered in her local butterfly garden for like the majority of my life. And lately I've been seeing tons and tons and tons of butterflies around where I live. So that's been really lovely. Thinking of her every time I see them. Okay, next I worked on, this was, day 7 of Arbitrary August. I worked on my Frogwarts Year 1 band sampler by the Black Needle Society. Excuse me. And that's what we got from the Frogwarts retreat. I keep this in, out of focus. I keep this in the bag that I got from the Show Me retreat. And this is still on my Q-snap. So this is what it looks like now. I showed this in my Frogwarts video that I put out a couple of weeks ago. And was that just last week? Good gracious. But a real quick recap of what I worked on. I basically did some frogging of things I didn't like. So I took out the quote down here. I took out the Sorcerer's Stone. I took out the words inside the potion bottles. And there were some beans that I didn't like, the colors that I picked or the placement of them. So I took those out as well. And then I put the beans back in. So this one is, I think, Cherry from Color and Cotton. And this one is Blueberry from Color and Cotton. And this one is Bogey from Color and Cotton. Those were 3 of the 4 that we got in the Frogwarts box. So I did some rearranging and put those back in. I think this one used to be Lemon Drop from Gentle Art, and I moved it over here. So yeah, that's what that looks like now. I would really like to get this finished because it's not that far along, except for I've got to do the over 1 words and put back the few other things that I frogged out. But after Arbitrary August, that might become a focus piece. Okay. Next, we have Peacock Keeper by Lindy Stitches. This was for day 8, I think. Yep, day 8. And that's what this will look like finished. I started this for the Diversity and Inclusion Sal with the Representation Matters Sal, because the man on it is a person of color. And I keep this currently in this Buffy bag that I got from a pin designer, actually. Opened a Redbubble account. So I got a bag from her. But this doesn't really fit the vibe of this project. So it might get moved. I think it was at a time when I, didn't have an available bag except for this one. So that's what happened. And here is what that looks like. I'm doing this on the called for, this is Picture This Plus 32 count linen in jazz. And I just worked some more on the border, and then I started in on one of the tails of the peacocks. I really like this project a lot. Honestly, now that I've gotten rid of Barn Owl, I don't think there's a single whip that I don't like working on. Which is how it should be, right? Next project, I'm storing this in my Needlework Galleria bag from last year. This is Impossible Odds by the Whistlestop Sticher. And I'll put a picture here of what that will look like. I'm stitching this on a piece of Color and Cotton Ada in River Rock. So 16 count. And I made some good progress on the letters here. So that's where I am. I love this fabric. This fabric is awesome. And I will definitely have more to do something else with. I'm running out of room. Next, I worked on Black Lives Matter. I'll put a picture here of what that will look like. I'm just doing this on a piece of white Ada. And that's how much progress I've made. And I want to be really clear about this, that I do not claim the imagery of the Black Power Fist as my own or a symbol of mine. I'm stitching this in support of the movement, and that symbol has, become part of the movement. But I don't want anyone to think that, that symbol is something that I'm attempting to claim. Because I can't. Because I'm white. And I keep this in a Love You More Studio sleeve. I thought for a second maybe this had peacocks on it, but it doesn't. Then, after that, I worked on my Peppermint Purple Sal. I'll show you as much as has been released so far. And I'm real behind, but I made some good progress on it. I'm stitching this in none of the called fors. It was designed in a rainbow color, but I'm doing another peppermint purple design that is rainbow, so I didn't want to do another rainbow one. So this is on 32 count dark cobblestone Lugana, and I'm stitching this all in 3866. So that's how far I am. I think I did one big block and one small block. And honestly, I think with the subtle colors of this, it looks way better from far away than it does close up. I think close up you can see the individual stitches too much, but back here you really just get the fill effect. But there's definitely a little bit of loss by doing it in this type of color pattern. Maybe you can see from back here in this block here, the pattern is like two chain links together, and I think that gets a little bit lost. But I think it's okay. I think it still looks beautiful. And honestly, her fills get used in multiple types of projects, and I have so many of her projects that I know I've already stitched that fill on something else. So it's not like it's the only time I'll ever stitch that particular fill. And I keep this in another Denise Soden in liquid color bag. This is her lovely barn owl, and I actually have the original painting of this. Not a print, the original, which is very special to me. But I also really love the bag. Okay, next. This was the project that I worked on that had a big goal that I earned a start from. So this is finishing a WIPGO goal, which is very exciting. This is piano, and I'll show what that will look like completed. This is full coverage, and that's what it looks like. This project, let me tell you, the further back you hold it, the more awesome it looks. When you hold it really close, all the grays and browns and pinks and blues all sort of get muddled together. But when you hold it back here, dang, it looks good. I'm really pleased with this. Really, really happy with this. So I have completed, my yearly goal for this, but I would very much like to continue to make progress on this before the end of the year. And so I'm currently keeping this in a makeup bag that I got from Ulta. I got a set of purple and blue of these. So I have the big one in purple and blue and the little one in purple and blue. But I split them up, mixed and matched. This is holding all of my floss bags. Which, especially for my big projects, I'm really starting to not love that way of storing my projects. So, hence the experiment with thread drops. Okay, that got 2 days of work, by the way, because that was an open whip goal. Then I worked on the snail, and then I pulled out Ruth Bader Ginsburg from the Fabulous Women in History series by CloudsFactory. I'll show you a picture of what that will look like. And I started this during Mania, and I made a decent amount of progress on it. Before this, we didn't have a Ruth, and now we do. So this has been really fun. I think, another couple days on this and I could get a finish. So I think maybe after Arbitrary August, focusing on some things that could get finished would be fun. I am doing this on 32 count lavender Lugana. I have 2 more pieces of that fabric because I will be stitching two other charts from the CloudsFactory series that this came from. And at the moment I am thinking those two. I currently have Grace Hopper as well. And then I got J.K. Rowling, which now I'm not going to do. So then I think I'm going to get Ada Lovelace. So I keep this in my Hanukkah bag from So Much to Love because Ruth Bader Ginsburg is Jewish. And so I just thought that would be amusing and a good way to use my Hanukkah bag for a project that is not Hanukkah themed. Okay, next I have my Woodland Sal. I'll show a picture of what that looks like here. That is designed by Durene Jones, and you can get this from Lakeside Needlecraft. They were the exclusive seller of that Sal. And the Sal has been completed, but I've only just begun. And I started this during Mania. And I'm getting close to finishing the first block. These have a deceptively large amount of stitches. I'm doing this on the called for. I got this fabric from Lakeside Needlecraft. This is Woodland, and they made this fabric exclusively for this chart. It's a little bit brighter green than is showing here. And it's a printed fabric, so it's white on the back. So that's what that looks like. And I've got some more like cross stitches in that, and then I'll have to back stitch it as well. But I think I'm going to do this project like piece by piece, fully completing a piece before moving on to the next part. And I keep this in another Denise bag, but this bear is so cute. And finally, for day 18 of Arbitrary August, I worked on my Blackwork chessboard. I'll show a picture here of what that will look like. This is a lot of fabric. I'm going to have trouble showing this to you. I'm stitching this for my boyfriend, which you may remember me saying has been a little bit challenging because he doesn't know that I'm stitching this, and so stitching on it during the pandemic has been difficult because we're both home all the time. So that's what I have so far. I worked on this yesterday. I spent all of yesterday just like working on more of the lines. And made good progress, I think. It's a little slow going. This is just a 32 count antique white Lugana. And the wheel, I decided to put it on the wheel. I almost didn't put it on the wheel. But I decided that I would be able to just hold myself up in my office and tell him that I was in a meeting or something. And then when on the day that it got spun, it turned out he had to go into his lab to work on a few things at work. And then he had some video chatting with friends planned in the evening. So I had actually a ton of time to work on this project without him seeing it. So that was really great. I was sitting on the couch, and I was worried about like him coming home and seeing it, or like when he was upstairs talking to his friends, sometimes they'll take a break and, go refresh their beers. And so I was worried that he would come down and see it. So I had a sweatshirt sitting next to me, and whenever I was afraid that he was coming, I would just shove my Q-snap underneath the sweatshirt so he wouldn't see it. I'm keeping this in a Love You More sleeve. This is one of the full-size ones. Beautiful. Love this one. Okay. That was everything I've worked on so far in the month of August, except for what I'm working on today, but I'll save that for the part 2 of Arbitrary August video. So yeah, that was a whirlwind, and August has been a whirlwind. I think doing this is making August go by so much more quickly than I was expecting, but I so far have not really gotten frustrated by changing projects so often. What I didn't share with you was that when I worked on the Woodland Sal, on the day that it was called, I only would manage to get in like 11 minutes of stitching. We had some friends over who are sort of in our COVID bubble, and I went for a run that day, which I haven't done in months because the weather has been awful, and so just between those two things, I really did not get a chance to work on that, and I couldn't put that away with like less than 30 stitches on it. So I decided to stitch on it for another day, and like based on how many whips I had in my wheel, there were like 2 days at the end of August that I left for a buffer for myself, and if I had them left still, then maybe like new starts would happen. But so I decided to work on the Woodland Sal for 2 days. But I'm really enjoying working on something for a day and seeing how much I can get done. I'm really enjoying closing the gap on some of my whip go goals. I finished Galleria was a whip go goal that hasn't been called yet, but when it does, that'll be complete. I finished a goal for piano. I got really close to finishing a goal on butterflies. I can probably finish that in the next session or 2 of stitching on that. I made some progress on Emerald City because that has some like fiddly stitching in for the next goal, and so making some early progress on that will be good for when that gets called. My Old Faithful project, that is like kind of a lot of stitching for one goal, and so getting a head start on some of that is really good. So I'm really, really thrilled with how Arbitrary August is going, and I even got in one little start, so I'm not even feeling like start deprived. So yeah, all right, let's talk about haul. Okay, so my haul is not quite as ridiculous as it has been, which is good. But I'll start with my digital purchase. I ordered the Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts stitching book club for the upcoming book. We're gonna read and stitch Frankenstein, and so she released her like the borders of Frankenstein so that everyone could get started. I showed my fabric last video, and I'm working on figuring out floss for that, but because I'm doing Arbitrary August, I haven't gotten a chance to start that, so if I've got time at the end of the month, that'll get started. But I knew I was going to buy that, I just finally did in case I get time to work on the border. Okay, next I bought from Fire Poppies I needed some DMC. I was running out of 3866 that I use for the Peppermint Purple Sal, so I needed to grab some of that. And 2 skeins of DMC. Could not travel alone from Fire Poppies, so I got Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews. I've been wanting this piece ever since she first showed it, and so I just decided to grab it. I now have acquired quite the stash from Hello from Liz Matthews and have not stitched any of them. So maybe this will be my first one. I do not plan to stitch All Hallows Eve. I'm just going to do pumpkins. Also, if you saw my Instagram story, my mail person totally folded it. This is after putting some heavy books on it for over a day. Not pleased. But, you know, the mail is vital, and I'm not saying that sarcastically. I just wish they wouldn't fold my charts. Okay. Next, I ordered from Anita's Little Stitches. Yep, Anita's Little Stitches. And I ordered from her because now multiple people that I follow on Flosstube have been talking about Dovo scissors and about how Dovo is going out of business, and they were afraid that they aren't going to be able to find Dovo scissors anymore, and they're like their favorite scissors ever. So I was like, well, if Dovo is going out of business and they're the best scissors ever, obviously I want to fall in love with them and then be sad like everyone else too, right? So I got a pair. So they come with a nice little protective leather case. And I got my first ever pair of stork scissors. These are beautiful. I just got them like a couple of hours ago. And they're great. They're fantastic. So thanks everyone for that. They were not cheap, and I really don't want to like buy a bunch of pairs of Dovo scissors in a panic that I'm not going to be able to get them anymore, but that might happen because I really like those. And I will say Fire Poppies and Anita's Little Stitches both have super fast shipping. Really, really pleased with my experience with both of them. So because I didn't really want to buy a pair of scissors by itself, even though I totally could have and it would not have been weird, I decided to also get some floss that I needed from Anita's Little Stitches. So I have been trying to kit up Our Hearts by Brenda Gervais for a while because I really want to start this. And so I got the rest of the floss that I was missing for that. So that is a Weeks Dye Works Carolina Cecil, and then some Gentle Art Wood Trail, Gentle Art Wood Rose, and Gentle Art Harvest Basket. I still don't have fabric for that. It calls for 36 count Vintage Country Mocha, and I thought maybe I was going to do it on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha, but that doesn't seem to be in stock anywhere, so I have to decide what I'm going to do for that. Next, I ordered from 123 Stitch. This is the Sunshine Stitcher's fault. They showed this piece and I lost my mind. It was like, I need to buy that right now. Usually with things like this, I'm pretty okay with just putting them in my wish list and sitting on it for a while, but there was something about this where I was like, I have to get that. So this is Dog's Day Out by Crosswing Collection. And it's so cute. So I think I'm going to stitch this for my brother. My brother loves dogs. And I find that cross-stitch dog patterns are like way too cutesy or like only of a specific dog breed. And he doesn't have a dog. because he travels too much for work. So he doesn't have a dog that I could like stitch the breed of dog that he has. And he doesn't have like a favorite breed. And so I would always struggle to find one that was of like multiple dogs and fun, but like he would not feel weird about putting up in his, you know, apartment as a single adult male person. But I think this is the perfect thing. And actually, the fabric for this is really cool, which is why the Sunshine Stitchers started talking about it to begin with. This piece of fabric was dyed specifically for this project by Crosswing Collection. And I think it's actually hand painted because it's, I think it's different. Maybe it's the same on both sides. So it's painted with the like green part on the bottom for the grass and the sky on the top. So they sell both of these. Yeah, I think they're the same on both sides. They sell both of these colors individually, the green color and the blue color. But then they also sell the like smashed together one. And I went on their website and I didn't see this fabric available. And then I looked for this pattern on 123 Stitch because I was just going to add it to my wish list to remember to try and find it. And when I found the pattern, then 123 Stitch was like, would you like to add the fabric? I was like, yes. Yes, I would. And just, you know, while you're at it, just put it in the cart. And then while I was ordering from 123 Stitch, I picked up some DMC of threads that I am low on. That would be tragic if I ran out and didn't have. And I also grabbed a Mill Hill button and beads kit that has been in my wish list for a long time. This is called Cozy Feet. And I saw this on the Pattern Queens channel. Keisha is stitching this. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, put that in my wish list immediately. And then I got my nest egg from 3 Owl Threads. I get Gentle Art. And I think we're still doing 2 months combined, but maybe not. I'm not sure what I even ordered. But so we've got, oh my god, this is so washed out. There's no way you can see this. There we go. Daffodil, Evergreen, Forest Glade, Uniform Blue, Green Tea Leaf. Ooh. This one's really interesting. It's got a lot going on in it. Then we've got Grape Fizz. This one is really variegated too. Green Pasture. Grecian Gold. Green with Envy. And Walnut. So, we must be doing weird things with the alphabet, because I think she goes in alphabetical order. But, you know, Gentle Art was shut down for a while, and things were hard to get, so she may also be filling back in from things throughout the year that were out of stock when they would have come up. But somehow we got to Walnut. I don't really care. Okay, next, hopefully you saw my Frogwarts retreat recap, including my retreat in a box unboxing. And the Landis ladies from Black Needle Society put up some extra stuff from the boxes they had for sale. So I got a couple things. I got another one of the fabric packs that look like a letter from Hogwarts. This has 32 count vellum in it from Picture This Plus. And the reason why I wanted to get another piece is that I'm going to do all of the band sampler, the Frogwarts band samplers on the same color fabric. So it doesn't hurt to have another piece of this, and it's really cute in the packaging. So I just wanted another one. Then I got a bookmark with the same art that was on the mug that came in the box. This is Katie's artwork, and it is beautiful artwork. And this is like a really sturdy bookmark. It's not like super flimsy. So I think this will probably be a display item more than anything else. And so you can see the full progression of the artwork here. And so we've got all the way from Privet Drive to King's Cross, getting on the train, all the way to Hogwarts. I love that. Katie, you're so freaking talented. So freaking talented. And then also from that, I got sorry, crinkle for a second. How do I get this out? Here we go. The bath bomb that came in the box, I've used and loved it. It was amazing. The scent is Earl Grey, so it should not surprise anybody that I loved it. Because I love Earl Grey. This is what it looks like. Looks like the Philosopher's Stone. The scent is actually Earl Grey and green teasing. But I loved it. My new house the new house that I moved into recently, has a jet bathtub, which is a fun new experience for me. So I took a bath, and this is the first place that I've rented where the bath like feels nice enough to actually take a bath, and like I fit in it, and I'm out of focus. Doesn't matter. I just want to show this again because it's so pretty. I want everyone to know that the glitter was like just a little bit of surface glitter. It did not make me super glittery in the bath, which I really, really appreciated. Also, the red was not like weird. It didn't look like a bloodbath in my bathtub. It didn't stain my bathtub. This was amazing. This is made by The Witch's Bath. I think their Halloween box is going to have something by The Witch's Bath in it as well. But anyway, so they were selling, the Black Needle Society was selling more of these because they had extra. And so I bought 5 of them. I think I maybe bought all the ones they had because I just loved it so much. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Okay, so the next portion of the haul program is pins. So let's talk about pins. Okay. Okay, so I don't have like a zillion pins to show you like I usually do. I purchased from Empty Masks on Etsy, and they make really cool wooden pins. They have a lot of like nerdy stuff on there. So if you like nerdy stuff, check out Empty Masks. But the wooden pins are really cool. I have a few wooden pins and I really like them. So you may know that I love Spider-Man, and Into the Spider-Verse is amazing and my favorite. So I decided to get some Into the Spider-Verse pins. So we've got a Peter and a Miles. And then we've got a Gwen. And we've got a Noir Spider-Man, because I couldn't resist Noir Spider-Man. And then also from them, I got a Captain Marvel. And they have a bunch in this style that are like the bust in sort of this heart-shaped form of like a bunch of different superheroes. Next, I ordered from Project Luna Rock. I've ordered from them previously. This is a Hamilton pin, and it says, "Immigrants, we get the job done." Love that. They also included a sticker, which I appreciated. Then I got in a pre-order that I forgot I ordered, frankly, because I ordered it so long ago. But I mean, that's how this stuff goes. Like, that wasn't a dig at this seller. That's just like you order a pin in July and it releases in October. This is from Witches. I'm about to swear. It's from Witches, Bitches, and Lore. And it is Sirius as a dog with his Azkaban number. What a cool pin. Next, I ordered from Sarah X Illustrations some mini pins. And these are going to be fun little board fillers for all the like spaces between pins that are too small to fill with other things. So I got a Howler, a Monster Book of Monsters, a Tom Riddle's Diary, Hogwarts Express. We got a Death Eater mask, a Rita Skeeter Quick Quotes quill, a Marauder's map, and Hagrid's umbrella. These are great, and you can see like my finger. Just comparing sizes of pins. Really, really cool. And the last pin that I got is from, I got this from the DFTBA shop. And I believe this is from the HPA, the Harry Potter Alliance. Granger Lovegood 2020. And I just want to show you something else I got from DFTBA because I like it so much. I want you to see it. Oh no! Dropping things. I got a t-shirt. I believe this was also from the HPA. And this is a Hermione quote. Yep, it says right at the top. I'm hoping to do some good in the world. And I really, really like this quote. And this t-shirt is super soft. And I can't wait to wear it. And while I'm showing you things that are not cross-stitch or pins, I want to show you a couple of other things that I got. Because I think they're cool. And you might want to see them. Or maybe not. So I have, in the last 5 years, begun trying to run. More like jog and walk in an alternating fashion. But I'm trying to be more active, and it's not easy for me. I don't find running easy. I don't like running when it's hot out. I don't like running when it's cold out. I don't like running when it's raining. I run on the treadmill a lot, but I don't have one that is in my house, and I belong to a gym, but right now I can't go to it. But anyway, I've been trying to run, and something that I think really helps me is motivation that is outside of myself just wanting to go running. So I have really enjoyed doing virtual races. And virtual races are basically like you run or walk or bike or whatever the distance that the race is. And it's like just honor system. So you could just buy these for no reason, but I don't know why you would do that because that's kind of weird. And then you get a medal and sometimes a t-shirt, and it's really fun. And most of the time the money that you spend on the medal goes to charity. So I support it used to be called the Hogwarts Running Club. Now it's called something else. I'll put it on the screen. I really love them. They do really awesome races, put out really awesome looking medals, and support really cool charities. I have a bunch of those. They're over there. Maybe I'll show them to you another time if you like seeing these. But so I got some new medals, and what I usually do is I will keep a medal like packaged up until I have earned it with a run, and then, or sometimes more than one run. Like if it's a marathon and I can't run a marathon, I have no shame in doing it over 2-3 sessions, but I make sure I put in the distance. If I put in the distance, then I get to display the medal. So I have a package of some medals that I have not earned yet, but that's fun incentive because I'm like, I really want to show those. Last year in November, I did, I think it was November, I did a run through the Wizard Run, and that was the first ever like in-person run that I'd ever done, but they also do a virtual run. Like you can choose whether you want to do it in person or virtual. And so I did my first ever 5K, like without stopping. I did it all in one and I was really, really proud. And I was planning to do it again this year, but of course we can't with coronavirus. So I signed up virtually. So, this is what the medal looks like. This is a 5K and it's a phoenix. I also got a t-shirt, but I don't have that here to show you because I already wore it. I have not earned this medal yet. So, the run that I did over the weekend went for a different medal that I had already been waiting to earn. So this one will go in my drawer until I earn it. The fun thing with the wizard runs is that you also get a wand with them, and these are really high quality wands, like really nicely made. This is not like some kid with a chopstick. And they only have like a finite number of wands that you can get, and it's random. But I did get a different one that I got last year, so I appreciated the variety. And then I ordered a couple of other medals. So while I'm showing you medals, I'm just gonna show them to you. And feel free to tell me in the comments, like, this is boring, I don't want to see those again. And then I won't show it to you again. So I got, first this one caught my eye. I've never done a run with this company before. This is called, I think it was Virtual Strides, but they were super great. Yeah, Virtual Strides. They were super great online. There was an issue with my order, and they had awesome customer service. These are all 5Ks, I believe. Sometimes the organization that used to be called Hogwarts Running Club and is called something else now, they have all different lengths of runs, but usually like the particular race with the particular medal is just like one distance. Other companies will do like, you can choose the distance that you want, and so I will usually choose a 5K because I can do that in one go. But anyways, I think I picked all 5Ks for these, or they were already 5Ks. So this one is the International Space Station. So cool. And I did not write down which charities these support, but these all went to supporting charities. So again, I have not earned any of these. I just got them. So they will be going into the drawer until I earn them. This one is the moon landing, and has a astronaut boot on the back, which I love. I almost love this more than the front. They'll have quotes on them. Like this one is from Neil Armstrong. That's one small step for blah, blah, blah. What was the International Space Station one? This one said, some views you don't just see with your eyes, but rather you feel them in your soul. From NASA astronaut Anne McLean. That's a great quote. I like that a lot. Next, I got one to support Black Lives Matter. I think that's really cool looking. And this one says, take your knees off our necks. I can't breathe. No justice, no peace. There comes a time when silence is betrayal. That's a Martin Luther King quote. Hands up, don't shoot. And then finally from Virtual Strides, I got one for me and one for my brother, because my brother has also been running. And of course, he is better than me, but you know. He is awesome. He is so supportive of me, and like I would not be able to keep going without him. He's always asking me, hey, you want to go for a run? Even after I tell him no a bunch of times, he still keeps asking me. And then he'll say, Beth, let's go for a run. We're going for a run. And he's been awesome to like celebrate my wins with. And anyway, so he's a pilot. And so I saw that Virtual Strides had this race. And this goes toward honor flights, which are for veterans, I believe. Let's see. The quote on this is, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. That's a JFK quote. So this is a really cool plain medal. So honor flights are like pilots donate their time to, and like people who own planes will donate their time on their planes to fly veterans to, I think, to like monuments to see them. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what honor flights are. Anyway, so since he's a pilot, I thought this would be a really fun thing to do, and his birthday's coming up, so I'm going to run that race with him for his birthday, and then he gets one of these too. Okay, that's all I've got to show you today. Thank you for hanging in with me and taking a look at some unusual haul for me. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of August. I hope that it is not too blistering hot where you are. The weather here has actually been wonderful, which is the only reason I've been able to go out for a run at all. And so I'm really enjoying being outside, except for all the bug bites I'm getting. And I am loving stitching every day, getting progress on new projects. I hope that you have some time to stitch as well, and that you are healthy and dealing with everything that's happening in the world the best that you can. Please reach out to the people around you if you need help. Yeah. Have a great couple of weeks, everyone, and I will see you at the end of August with the rest of my Arbitrary August.